we've been doing this long enough. I kind of know what to expect on the questions. I actually start off by I spend 10 minutes explaining our company, which really cuts to answering a lot of their questions, how we do things, how we charge. I talk a lot about the technology we utilize. I think if there's one pointer that I would have, I think people don't ask enough about technology. I find they're very quick to ask about rates. They're very quick to ask about experience, and all of that is great. They want to see a contract. They want to start to try to whittle down the fees. And yet I try to explain to them that, look, we fundamentally believe that the future of real estate, like every other industry, is going to be backed in tech. And so we think that, if you're a good prime management company, you better be utilizing the best technology, number one, and have a plan for what the next 3 or 5 years look like to adopt more technology and or build your own. And so I think that makes us, that's important to us, but I would just say to other folks out there, I think people don't dig enough on the technology front to really understand what prime management companies are using.
And I think personally, like I wouldn't always know what to ask about technology. And that's where I want you to help us also. So, I'm going to ask what software they use. Obviously, I'm familiar with numerous different, brands of software for management companies. But however, there's going to be other parts of the tech side that I wouldn't even know what to ask for. So help us know what we should ask, and let's go down the tech side.
So here's some things that come to mind for me. One is, if you think about property management, a lot of it is kind of workflow oriented. So how does one of your property managers, your maintenance team, how do they know what to do next so they don't forget to do that task? So we spend a lot of time thinking about workflow. We have both a kind of a maintenance workflow technology where we're putting in work orders, but we also have just a broader, what we call our ticket system, where if an investor has something that a very specific task, increase the rent at this unit, send me a lease. What I find is that a lot of that communication sits in texts and emails and phone calls, which is I think super unoptimal because it relies on someone to actually remember to do a task. So we put all of our incoming requests either get put into a work order or a ticket. And that includes voicemails. So I would ask a lot about how does workflow work? And I would bring up some very specific examples. If my tenant has a question about their lease and they ask the question, how does that work? If I have something I need you to do, how does that work? Who am I talking to? And how is that person going to remember to do it? Because even the littlest things, you ask someone to winterize an apartment because it's vacant to make sure the pipes don't freeze. Well, that could be a $2,000 problem if someone just forgets to do that small little task. And every day, our company's getting thousands of tasks. Some are important and urgent. Some are much less important. But so I think a lot about workflow, and then I think a lot about tenant experience. So from a tenant point of view, everything from how is the tenant finding the apartment? How are they booking a showing time? Our tenants can actually book showing times online. To once they move in, how do they request something? Do they have a tenant ledger? So I just think about in the eyes of a tenant, how am I interacting with this property management company? And what kind of tech are you using to kind of